Israeli army gathered more tanks and military vehicles on the border area with Gaza. Israeli troops prepared for a ground assault on the Hamas-controlled Strip, after an unprecedented assault on its territory. Israel has vowed to annihilate the militant group Hamas in retaliation for a rampage in which its fighters stormed through Israeli towns shooting men, women and children and seizing hostages in the worst attack on civilians in the country's history. Israel has declared its northern border with Lebanon a closed military zone after deadly clashes with Hezbollah as fears grow of the opening of another front amid an ongoing bombardment of Gaza Strip. Israel on Sunday warned civilians not to come within about 4 kilometers, 2.5 miles, of the Lebanese border or else they may be fired upon. It told people living in border areas, which are filled with small rural towns and villages, to stay near shelters, which were met with artillery fire from the Israeli side. The Lebanese political and military group said its attacks came in response to Israel's strikes into Lebanon a day earlier that killed 2 civilians and a Reuters cameraman who was filming near the border. Israel said it is investigating the killing of Reuters journalist Assam Abdallah. Footage released online shows Abdallah and other colleagues were clearly marked as press when they were fired upon by a projectile launched from Israel. Israel's move on a major step in efforts to prepare for the possibility that Hezbollah may open a second front and come to the aid of Hamas fighters in the Gaza Strip. Israel has also struck the airports in Syria's Aleppo and Damascus in an apparent effort to prevent Iran from using Syria to enter the conflict. Tehran has not officially threatened to join the war but has said Israel will face consequences if it does not stop its attacks on Gaza. A nearby hospital received dozens of injured people, most of whom are women and children, one of the doctors said. Israel has been pounding the enclave with fierce bombings in retaliation for Hamas attacks last week on Israel that left some 1,300 Israelis killed. Gaza authorities said more than 2,300 people had been killed, a quarter of them children, and nearly 10,000 wounded.
To avoid
1 million
harming
people
civilians.
had reportedly left their homes.
With what we're actually doing, including the deployment of these aircraft carrier battle groups. Again, not to provoke anyone, but to send a very clear message of deterrence, that no one should do anything that widens this conflict in any way, or that furthers aggression against Israel from any other direction. I had very good conversations both with the Crown Prince in Saudi Arabia and here in Egypt with President al-Sisi, and also heard, I think, a lot of good ideas about some of the things we need to do moving forward, including practical ideas on getting assistance to Palestinians in Gaza who are in need, but also good and important conversations about the future and where we hope ultimately together we can bring this in a much more positive way.